When I moved to England, with all the due respect, the level wasn't the same. Physically, technically, and tactically, I was on a better level.
The quality of your set plays was always something that will stick with me.
I was constantly practicing my technique, trying to make it better.
I'm looking at the way they hit the free kicks nowadays, and they kind of hit it and kind of jab at it.
You can make pasta in many ways. It's still pasta and it's still good.
Today I'm in London to meet, without doubt, one of the greatest players ever to grace the Premier League.
Zola has got room. Oh, Zola! Zola's kick! What do you say about that? Brilliant skill by Zola! What a magnificent goal!
Gianfranco Zola was 30 when he signed for Chelsea, and even he thought he was just coming for a couple of seasons. But let me tell you, over the next 7 years, he won the hearts of all the fans up and down the country with his flair, with his talent, with his goals, and who could forget that smile?
Gianfranco Zola, a real special goal!
Gianfranco, how are you?
How are you?
It's brilliant to see you.
Very good to see you too.
Great to see you.
I'm already in a little bit unsettled here. Too many books. It's not for me.
I think you can handle them. Please join me.
Thank you.
Gianfranco, thank you very much for joining us.
Ali, it's a pleasure.
Great to see you. The first thing I've got to say is I'm led to believe that this interview very, very nearly took place in Sardinia with you and I in a golf course.
Well, you refuse to come
Well,
to see me
no.
in
I
Sardinia.
just, for clarification, part 2 of this interview will be conducted in Sardinia.
Absolutely. Any time for you.
Sounds good. I know that's very kind of you. I want to start there, if I may. Young boy, growing up in the island of Sardinia. Tell me a little bit about life as a child, your parents, school. How was it?
Very, very simple. A lot of football on the streets. Not too much school, as I prefer playing football a lot. But very simple. I was born in a small village, 7,000 people only living there. And again, as I said, that's in particular football was the center of interest for the all people over there. So.
Well, it's amazing. You said something there that struck a chord with me immediately.
Yeah.
Football on the street.
Yeah.
Right. That's all we did. We came back from school, threw the school bags in the house, and we were back out on the street.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's something? I know times have changed. I get it totally. But do you think that's maybe one of the things that's missing? The kids with the ball all the time?
Yes, I believe so, yeah. It's certainly one of the problems that we have right now in Italy. Kids nowadays, mostly they come from academies,
yeah.
Which, don't take me wrong, I got nothing against the academies, but it's not enough. And, when you go to an academy, normally they go 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
They go to the academy for 1 hour and a half. And 1 hour and a half, 3 times is 6 hours, maybe 7 hours. I think in my time, I don't know in you, but 7 hours, it was 2 days of football.
Exactly. Gianfranco, we were the same. We were the exact same. We were playing after school, but also we had a game Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday.
Absolutely.
We were playing 3 games over the
weekend.
weekend.
On top of that, I mean, for example, when we used to go out and play in the streets,
yeah.
We had the ball all the time.
Yeah.
Not just for 10, 15 minutes like they do in academy environment.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, is a problem, in my opinion, that has to be addressed sooner or later.
Okay, so you tell me you're playing in the streets like we all did back in the day. At what point did you realise that you had this talent?
11 years old was the first time I joined a team, which was the local team.
Yeah.
And I joined, and I was already one of the best,
yes.
Let's say, in the group. You could see already that I had good qualities. I was quick, I was agile, and you could see that. And that was an indication. It was still a long way, but that was an indication.
Yeah, at that point, and you'll forgive me for saying so, when I was growing up, and the first top players Italian I played against, it was Bergami, Colavati, obviously Baresi, Maldini.
Tough people, eh?
Very tough. I mean, tough, right?
I know.
Tough. But obviously top quality defenders.
Yeah.
You clearly weren't.
Yeah, the Italian defending schools, especially the old one, was very, very, very tough. So for us as strikers, we needed to be more clever than them. We need to be more agile, more quicker, and it forced me to work a lot and to think a lot about my game.
And then you get the move to Napoli, which, you know, must have been absolutely incredible for you. Initially, it must have been, you know, a dream move for you. Tell me a little bit about that initially, Gianfranco. What kind of step was it going to a club like that with, obviously, in my opinion, one of, if not the greatest player that ever lived, and such passionate fans?
Look, it was a big step because before I went to Napoli, I was playing for the equivalent of League One team.
Yep.
I went to, probably at that moment, it was the best team in Italy, probably one of the best teams in Europe. Mm-hmm. And so therefore it was a big gap. But luckily, Ali, I went there with the right frame of mind. Mm-hmm. I think I've always said that the difference was the approach. Mm-hmm. I went there with humility. I knew that they were better players than me. I went with a fresh mind. I wanted to learn. I wasn't expecting to play. So all these things, they put me in the right frame of mind. And training at that level immediately took my level to a different height. So that was very, very important.
You talk about a different level, a different height. It would be remiss of me not to ask about Maradona. I mean, he might be...
you can ask.
Thank you. He might be the greatest player I've ever seen. What was it like being in that city, in that team when he was there?
Well, Diego, for Napoli, for the team, for the whole city, it was a big gift. He was such a talented player that he was taking the level of everyone very high. So I think everyone loved that. But I think everybody knows the value of Diego, okay, in terms of football. Yeah. He was unbelievable. He was absolutely by miles the best player in the world. But also he was a very, very good and gentle person. Mm-hmm. And we loved this company. He used to be very humble. I know that is one of the things that struck me. I saw other players that they were less than him, and they didn't have the same attitude. They didn't have the same approach with people.
Yes.
We used to love him always, not only because he was winning games for us, but also because the way he confronted himself with us, it was great.
Could I maybe just say to you that might be one of the best things that you maybe learn from? Because I think that's one of the things that you carry off unbelievably well.
Absolutely.
You've got your humility about you, and you talk to people, which is a wonderful, and that's something he did as well.
Thank you very much. It was one of the things that I said I need to, I wanted to copy him in many ways, and for sure, the way he behaved was one of the things that impressed me. The way also he was gentle with the opposition. I remember that many times that he was going on the pitch to play a game, and before the game we were walking on the, in the tunnel, and everybody was asking, "Can I have your shirt? Can I have your shirt?" Yeah. And he was very, very good with everyone. He would give the shirt to them and never had a problem. So impressed me because, as I said, not everyone else was.
I know.
He had that.
But class.
That class.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Now, from Napoli, you actually joined Parma.
Yes.
Tell me how that move came about, and was there a dramatic change in the style of play, the environment?
The system was different. In Naples, we were playing 4-3-1-2, and I was the one behind the two strikers.
Yeah.
Whether in Parma, the system was 3-5-2. So they had no position for me, actually. So I went there, and at the beginning, the demand from me was to change position. So I had to play either as a midfielder or as a striker.
What did you prefer?
I prefer, as a young player, I started as a striker, more or less like you.
Yeah.
Okay, but it wasn't easy. The beginning was difficult because the demands, the change of system, and also the pressure was on me. The team Parma was doing very well, and I was the one that they need to take to a different level, but without changing their style.
Yeah.
But I was different.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge at the beginning. Thankful, there was a very good coach at that time, Nevio Scala.
Yes.
And he worked a lot on me. He taught me a lot of things, how to play as a striker, as a main striker. And in the end, it worked quite well.
So the move to Chelsea comes about, Gianfranco. Tell me, how did it come about? Did you have any second thoughts about it? And how big a change was that? Because you obviously going to another country, another language, a completely different environment. How did you handle that initially?
Well, I was aware of that. I knew I needed something strong for me because I came to Chelsea the year after I played the European Championship with the national team, which didn't go very well. Personally, it was a big setback because I invested a lot in the national team adventure. It was a very, very important part for me personally. So therefore, when it didn't work, I went back to Parma and I was a kind of a down still.
Yeah.
So when then the opportunity came to move to Chelsea, it was a good opportunity. Difficult, as you had mentioned before, because I had to adapt to a new language, a new style of football, and so on. But again, as I had the same. When I went to Napoli, I had a very good frame of mind. For me, I wanted to be successful. I was willing to work. I was willing to go back to basics, and that made a big difference.
Obviously, the one thing that's coming through is your work ethic and prepared to go and have a new challenge. There was obviously an Italian connection at the club as well. Yeah. Tell me, in terms of the play, what was the difference, or was there a difference in the top flight in England and the top flight in Italy?
Well, there was a difference, to be honest, Ali. The level in Italy, the level of football in Italy in that moment, it was very high.
The Milan team and the Juventus team were unbelievable. Unbelievable.
In those years, Juventus, Milan, Inter, every team that had amazing players. I mean, Milan had Gullit, Van Basten, and Rijkaard. Inter had Matthews, Breme, Klinsmann. Juventus had Platini, Boniek. I mean, the level, everyone had the
best league in the world.
The best players in the world, they were all playing.
Of course it was.
So therefore, this took the level of the game high. And so for me, you had to be good.
Yeah.
When I moved to England, with all the due respect, the level wasn't the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little bit lower. And physically, technically, and tactically, I was on a better level, especially at the beginning. And that was an advantage for me, for sure.
I'm guessing you never said that, but you felt it.
Well, I mean, no, but I could see that I had an advantage with the defenders. For example, I had an advantage. I mean, later on, that advantage went, so I had to remake myself, adapt again. But at the beginning, I was better prepared. And that gave me the little edge that it was necessary to make myself established quick.
Tell me briefly about your general play. Was there any specific areas, or did you work on it all? Specifically, I want to ask you about free kicks. There's no way you will remember this, but you and I played against each other. It was a charity game at Fulham, right?
And do you remember that?
Do you remember? And you played, it was a warm-up before your charity game, and the Scottish boys, the ex-Scotland team, came down to play. And we actually had a bet with our goalkeeper, Andy Gorham, sadly, who's no longer with us, with a bet that you'd score a free kick against him before the game, right? And you won't remember, you hit this free kick, I swear to God, Gianfranco, it was right in the top corner, and somehow he got a finger to it and put it over the bar, right? And we were laughing, we were amazed, but we knew the point I was trying to make, the quality of your set plays was always something that will stick with me, and I'm guessing it was something you worked at.
A lot, to be honest. I was good at taking free kicks. I don't hide that. There is not a special thing in that. I think it's a lot of practice. I used to dedicate at least 2 or 3 hours every week to that technical work. And I used to, do a lot of drills to improve the quality, to improve the sensitivity. Some of the drills were well taught to me by Diego as well, actually. And it was, I was constantly practicing my technique, trying to make it better.
Do you think there's any difference, Gianfranco? Can I go off route here? But I'm looking at the way they hit the free kicks nowadays. I'm thinking of Rodgers, for example, Aston Villa and Ronaldo, and they kind of hit it and kind of jab at it to get it.
They hit more with they say the 3 fingers or 4 fingers. Yeah, it's a different technique. For me, it was more of a curl.
Yes.
Right, and I worked a lot on the curl. But then Pirlo came and Juninho, Sambucano came and they took, they used another tactic where they used to hit the ball quite straight with a straight run, and the ball, instead of to spinning from left to right, he had more spin, going up and coming down, so straight. It's a different way. I mean, you can make pasta in many ways. It's still pasta and it's still good.
I like it. But tell me a little bit more about Chelsea, Gianfranco. I mean, obviously won the cup in '97, and you scored the Winners' Cup final. What was your kind of your happiest memories? Would they come into the equation, obviously?
Yeah. One of the days that I remember with most pleasures is when we won the first FA Cup.
Yeah.
I think it was something that I didn't expect first, because, as you probably know, in Italy, the Italian Cup is not as celebrated, as important. I would never forget going on the bus. I could not believe we were going on the bus the day after in King's Road, and so many people were there. Honestly, I was surprised and very proud. And I remember my father, he wanted to see the bus, and the only way he could do it to jump on a light...
a lamppost?
A lamppost. Your
dad was on the lamppost?
My father,
he must have been
60 years old, he was hanging on the lamppost.
You must have got a surprise sitting at the top of that bar. At least my dad over there on that lamppost. Brilliant.
No, that was brilliant.
I was actually at that game. So I remember it.
Roberto scored an unbelievable goal, and I think that set the pace.
Di Matteo, Yasu's making an angle run ahead of him and opened up some space. And a goal! Oh, fantastic start! Roberto Di Matteo!
It was written that we were going to win that.
And Zola, it's in! And surely now the cup is theirs.
We had a fantastic momentum on the pitch because we were playing well and so on. We were growing very much as a team.
Yeah.
And I think the momentum was created not only by the results, but also by the fantastic atmosphere that we had within the team. I think it was fantastic.
You can't beat that, can you? You can't beat that camaraderie, that feeling within the squad.
You can't beat. There was a kind of mix where there were a lot of players. If you remember in those years, we were accused to be the mercenaries, the team of mercenaries. That we were there.
Yeah.
We were there just for the money. But actually, I tell you, there was a fantastic interaction between the foreign and the English players. We really got together very well. We helped each other.
Yeah.
We were teaching them our, way to train, way to think, and way to play football. They were teaching us the English, and it was very important, that part.
It's so important, Gianfranco, isn't it? Because I can relate to that very, very much, because when we had a strong team at Rangers, all of a sudden the English lads come up, Terry Butcher and Chris Woods and Gascoigne, but also the Italians come over, Gattuso, Amoruso, boys like that,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and Marco Negri.
They loved the experience.
Loved it. And it was just the unity in the dressing room was so important.
That is so, you said that is the key. You know, once that you realize that everyone can give something to the other and vice versa, that is what makes a group so successful. And this is exactly what we form at Chelsea. You know, I came in and I remember that people, they were coming to see me, going there 1 hour before and going to the gym and preparing for the training session every day.
They're learning from you.
They, you know, I remember that John Terry used to come, why are you doing this? Or even Dennis Wise, they used to come, why are you doing? And then it was fantastic to see that the day after they were there doing the same. Maybe something different, but they're preparing for the training session before the training session.
At what point do you realise enough's enough? And how did you handle it? Was it difficult or did you accept it?
Good question. No, I think, you know, I stopped when I was 39 years old. And I walked into the office of my chairman at that time in Cagliari, which was Massimo Cellino. People know him here. And he put me on the table the contract. I said, this is the extension for another year. Sign, please. He didn't know. I said, Chairman, thank you very much. I said, I'm going to stop here. And he was surprised because he thought I was going to sign. So I stopped because I wanted to stop at my best.
Yes.
I didn't want to fade into it. So I had just played a very good season. You know, we stayed up with Cagliari, and I played a decent season. So I reflected on that and I said, I want to stop here and I want to be at the best.
Well, that was a lovely way to finish with a local club. Tell me, again, I'm going off. Did Luigi Riva play with Cagliari at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. He was a king.
He's our hero in Sardinia. He's probably the main reason why I became a footballer. Actually.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I can remember him in that great, fantastic team, Rivera and all those boys.
Football came to me through my father.
Yeah.
My father, you know, put my passion. I was 3 years old, 4 years old. He used to take me every day to the training sessions. And my father got the passion from him. So he is the reason why he went into football.
You talk about the passion. I think one of the best quotes I've ever seen written about you, Gianfranco, came from Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
And his words were, any time he saw you play, any time he saw you play on a football field, you had a smile on your face. I think that's a lovely thing to say. And it's a lovely thing to be remembered by, isn't it?
Big time. It's,
forget the talent, forget the ability, playing with a smile on your face. Do we see that enough nowadays?
Some they do. I mean, my example, my inspiration was, well, my inspiration, the person I used to like a lot for the attitude was Cafu.
Yeah.
He was always smiling.
Yeah.
I think two reasons why I like to do approach with a smile is because, first of all, it's always nice to see when you're doing something and you love, you have to smile. Yeah, it doesn't matter how difficult it can be or how challenging it can be. It's always good. I think with a smile, it just puts you in the right frame of mind.
Absolutely.
For yourself.
Yeah.
And then I think for the others.
Yeah.
I mean, it's people when they go and see football, they want to see people enjoying. If they notice that they are enjoying what they're doing, they enjoy them as well.
100%. Into coaching, you stopped playing into coaching. Was that a natural thing for you? Did you always have that at the back of your mind?
No, absolutely not, Ali.
When did you do, for example, when did you do your badges? Did you do them in preparation for it, or was it just something you walked into?
Well, I retired in 2005, and for 1 year I didn't do anything football-wise. Then 1 year later, Demetrio Albertini approached me and he asked me if I wanted to work with the youth under 21s with Pierluigi Casiraghi. I had no qualifications. I had nothing. I just went to do the work with Gigi, and at the same time I started the courses. But it wasn't something that I wanted to do, Ali, because honestly, I thought my thinking at that time was that I learned to play on the streets. I am a very instinctive player. So I said, how can I teach somebody to play football? I just learned by natural. So I don't know how to do that. And so that was my thinking. And that's why I thought, no, I cannot be a good coach.
Are you finished with it? Or would you go back?
No, I'm okay with that. I don't think I will be back coaching. I don't know.
Never say never.
Life, you never know that. But I like to still work on football, and like I'm doing, trying to help the youth system in Italy. And, I think we need...
Well, tell us a little bit about that, for example. You're obviously very busy. And you've got your job. As you explain what that involves, please.
I basically work with it's called Lega Pro, which is the equivalent of League One and League Two, but we don't have League One and League Two. We're just Lega Pro, which is the third level of professionalism. It's a Liga with 60 clubs. So there are 3 groups, the north, the center, and the south of Italy. And there are 20 teams in each group. So it's 60 teams. And basically are I believe one of the most important part of our football, because a lot of young players, they come from there. Where they can play themselves. Is where I developed, actually. I was 23 years old. Without the Serie C, probably I wouldn't have become a Serie A player. So I know how important it can be. And because it's located in all Italy, is actually like our core of football. And the youth, the young players is a place where they can grow playing against experienced players. So is a perfect environment for them to grow. And that's where I work, trying to set the rules, make sure that the clubs invest enough time and resources into the youth system.
It's amazing that, Gianfranco, because you've said something that completely and utterly resonates with me. When I was a young kid, 16, I'd signed for St John's, a club up in Scotland, and I was playing reserve team football against men. And that was an experience I don't think you could buy.
No, absolutely.
I think it was an incredible experience. And I don't think there's enough of that now.
Yes, because sometimes when you are 17 or 18, you have so many energies, you have so many qualities, but you waste them.
Yeah, you need channeled.
And that's why I'm so in favor of that league like that, because you have you put these 2 groups together, and they have so much to give to each other, and it works so well.
I think you're absolutely spot on. Now, is that one of the problems at the moment with the Azzurri? The national team are without doubt having a little bit of a struggle. I know they won the Euros a few years back, but, tell me if I'm wrong, I just think there's something lacking with the Italian team and the Italian squad at this moment in time.
We definitely have a lot of things that are lacking. Italy, as under 17, 16, 18, in the national team, we are doing well. The problem is that at 17, 18, a young player is not formed yet. Between the youth,
the transformation,
the transformation jump. From the jump from the youth system to the real football, Serie A, whatever, is huge. But nowadays, it's difficult because the big teams, they have to win games because they need to qualify to the Champions League, or they need to win games not to get relegated. That doesn't give time to a young player. They need to develop. They need to have experience. They have talent, but they need to use their talents, and they make mistakes. On those mistakes, they improve.
They learn.
This is an essential part. But sometimes we don't have that in Italy.
Now, I haven't even looked at, these are my notes, and I haven't even looked at them, right? But the one thing I've written down that I've got to ask you, this game, right, that we love, and we've loved since we were wee boys. I'm not kidding you on here. I watch this at least once a week. And it was Troy Deeney scoring for Watford against Leicester. And it might be the most incredible finish to a game. Certainly one of the most incredible finishes to a game. I genuinely watch it. I do. Yeah, I watch it once a week. Along with, you might not, the other one I watch is Jimmy Glass, the Carlisle goalkeeper, scoring for Carlisle come up from a corner to keep them in the top flight. Things like that make us football fans and we love the game. Tell me about the emotion at that time.
You know, the more I think about it, the more it's difficult for me to find the words, because when you go through those emotions, it's difficult to put them in words.
Yeah.
The only thing I can tell you, I was desperate. I was going to die in that moment when the penalty was given.
Never a penalty. Never a penalty.
I got to say, the
I'll say it for
referee
you.
was Oliver. He apologized to me later on.
Good.
And I said, thanks God you did it. I was about to die because of that. But I went from a total desperation because I was going to die.
Amazing.
And all of a sudden, somebody pulled me out, which was Almunia.
Yeah.
And we went to the other side, and all of a sudden, I was on the bench, and I found myself rolling on the ground.
Incredible.
Because I couldn't, it's such an emotion that I could not stop. I had to run, I had to jump, I had to apologize also to the opposition person, because I just ran past him. But that is what football is all about.
Does that to you, doesn't it?
Sometimes you go through difficult moments, and then you go and from one extreme to the other, and it's the magic of sport.
Of course it is.
And I will never forget something. It's one of the things that I keep more close to myself.
Oh, me too. I
felt like a kid of 5 years old kid.
The fact I still watch it every week makes me feel like a 5-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
I've only got one final question, if I may, Gianfranco. Thanks very much for your time. Chelsea, at this moment in time, where do you see them? Have they surprised you a little bit this season? Obviously, winning the World Club Championship in America in the summer was a fantastic achievement. Are they kind of ahead of the game, or where do you see them?
Well, I mean, looking at them now, they look so strong. I mean, it's a team that is very well coached, without doubt, organized. They have a lot of talent, and because they have a talent in different areas of the pitch. And on top of that, something that is a big strength for Chelsea, they have a lot of energy. It's probably one of the youngest teams in Europe.
Yes, yeah.
And to the point that I got to be honest, I didn't know it was going to work, because I said, for me, I mean, to have young players in the team, energy is very important. But at the same time, you need to have more experience at the same time, because there can be a guidance for the others. But it seems the model is working, and is working very well. And I have to say, Maresca has done an amazing job, because he's given to the whole team a structure. Everybody knows what he's doing. Everybody knows the competence. And if you think nowadays we are playing without our best player, which is Cole Palmer, for injury, and we still performing well, getting results, is remarkable. Where we can get, I don't know. I think the potentials are very high.
Yeah.
So. Football is very up and down, but it's promising very well for us.
You mentioned Cole Palmer, not just at Chelsea, overall, who do you enjoy watching?
Well, I love him playing, because he is. I studied his background. He comes from playing in the streets.
Yes.
He told me playing in the park with his father and his friends, and you can see in the way he plays. He is clever. He's got that type of clever mentality that you develop playing with adults in the street. You need to do the best, even if you're not competitive. You need to get the most of it, and you can see he's got that, and I love that. It's an edge that he's got that is gonna give him a lot of in the future. Estevao is another.
Yeah, exciting.
I didn't know him. I have to say. He scored an amazing goal in the Champions League, but you can see he's brave. He's not afraid of taking responsibilities, and I love those players. We need him, especially nowadays in this type of football, where there is a lot of passing, right to left, left to right. That sometimes you need to be brave and take a chance, risk also to lose the ball, but try to do something important. People They go to the stadium, they want to see that.
Of course they do.
I love to see that. I want to see people being brave and trying something difficult.
We all do. Well, Gianfranco, I can't thank you enough for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
I've really, really enjoyed it. Thanks again. And just to let you know,
yes,
I've saved some for part 2 for the golf in Sardinia. I'm off 18.
You promised.
I'm off 18 now. I need 18 shots off you.
no chance.
And on that, I said it was my last question. Tell me about the Ryder Cup. Tell me about that. I nearly forgot.
Wow.
What about that last day?
Wow.
We all thought it was...
That was similar to the Leicester experience.
Correct, correct. How did you enjoy that experience? How did that come about? That was fantastic.
That was amazing. I mean, it's, I'm passionate about golf.
Yeah.
And I felt like a 5 years old going to see the best experience possible. No, it was fantastic to see them, the way they prepare, the way they look after every single thing. And above all, I saw that the way they stuck together, it was the big difference. I have to say, the captain, Luke made a fantastic job, and also the vice captains, getting them together, motivating to work for each other. That was massive. It's been the difference between the two teams.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, my friend. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in Sardinia.
See you there. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But no shots.